Hey, welcome everybody. This is Hakeem Alexander. You're listening to my song Gold Magnet. That's the boom. Today's vlogcast podcast is going to be titled something like The UpSides of the 4-Day express-vpn blackout in China. In addition to that, I'm also trying out with my Spreaker audio here. I have my Spreaker podcasting software has this new thing called ducking, automatic ducking, which, as you can tell, every time I'm speaking, the music it drops out. So the music is ducking in order to make way for my voice, but apparently it's not doing it all the time. And the headphones I'm using are better than the ones that I used yesterday. Yesterday I was using some headphones called Remax from China, and they were buzzing in the headphones. It sounded really kind of terrible, but it's something that I don't mind so much anyway. Anyway, let me get right into this because I'm only going to be here for another 12 more minutes. So what are the upsides of the VPN blackout from express-vpn in Hangzhou, China? And let me actually just turn the music down myself. Turn off this automatic ducking. It's all right. I guess I'll see what it sounds like after this podcast. All right. So some of the upsides, and then of course I may rant about something else, but some of the upsides, well, first of all, it's just like anything else when some people have limitations put on them. We all respond in different ways, and so my response is to just figure out a way around it and figure out how to continue to be productive and creative even though my channels of expression, mostly because of the low cost of entry and being free for the most part, my media outlet has been, the internet, places like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and those are just 3 of the sites that are blocked by the Great Firewall of China. So I can't view or access anything from that, anything Google products, Apple, Facebook, any of their properties, things like that. So can't go on YouTube, can't use Google search, can't use Google Docs, can't communicate with any of those products, Facebook Messenger, Facebook, Instagram. So like I said, people respond differently when there are limitations imposed upon them. Some people just throw their hands up in the air and complain and don't do anything and use it as an excuse to be complacent. I've seen it happen a lot of times. And so, of course, the point about that is don't let that be you. Don't be the person who gives up and acts like the world has ended just because you don't have certain things that you've had before. A lot of people do that, and it sucks. I mean, I don't know why. I don't get it. I just, and so my suggestion is figure out how to work around your limitations. So one thing, because I've been looking for ways to get around the apparent limitation of my virtual private network. So if you guys don't know what that is, a VPN, it's called a virtual private network, and it helps you get access around things like firewall and internet security, safety, privacy, so on and so forth, supposedly, all of that stuff. I actually don't care about any of the other stuff like privacy online for me personally, but that's what one of the things that the product says is that it masks your browsing history. So if you're one of those people who likes to go on like porn sites or you're on the dark web all the time or something like that, your history is not public and people can't search it. If you're at like a public cafe where there's like open Wi-Fi and you use a VPN, it stops people from being able to steal your information supposedly and all that. And I subscribed to express-vpn for a year. I think I paid $100 or a little bit over $100 for it. I'm not sure. I was just looking for my receipts today, but I couldn't find them in my email. Anyway, so a couple of the things that the upsides are that I learned a little bit more about posting and a bunch of things on LinkedIn. You know, I learned at least that I'm not able to post a video even if it's in the parameters of you. I learned first of all that LinkedIn doesn't allow you to upload videos longer than 10 minutes. And at least from my Samsung mobile device, I was not able to upload videos from my Samsung mobile device to LinkedIn. So I learned that. And the reason why that's important to me is because many years ago, I imposed a limitation upon myself. And the limitation was I want to figure out how to run a business completely from my mobile device, a multimedia business. So however that happens, and podcasting is one of the best ways to do that, because the audio files are very small, and they can be transferred around anywhere. They don't require you to look at it. People can listen to podcasts while they're driving, headphones on, doing other things, while they're at the gym working out, while they're taking a walk, walking the dog, so on and so forth. A lot of voice related things like that are very, very handy for a lot of people. So I learned some things about LinkedIn. I learned that, you can post videos up there. You can record them directly to LinkedIn. That they have a limitation of when you upload videos, at least, because I didn't attempt to record one straight into to LinkedIn Live. At least when you try to upload it from a mobile device, from a Samsung Galaxy mobile device, which is what I'm using, I wasn't able to upload it. Another thing I learned is that Youku, the Chinese video hosting website that I use out here, I can upload videos longer than 10 minutes because I made a video, or one of my first vlogs from Hangzhou, China, I called Hangzhou Primer, which is on YouTube. It's, I think, 8 minutes long, and then there was another one I uploaded that was like 15 minutes long. Was another one that I did just to check it out, and I am able to upload them. And I learned that because I was browsing through videos and I saw a bunch of mixed martial art videos, and one of them was like 16 minutes long. So I thought, yay, the podcasts that I'm doing now are limited to 15 minutes long. And the reason for that is also because of the firewall, because I don't have any means to pay beyond the firewall out here, where some services they have like workarounds. Like express-vpn, surprisingly, has a good workaround to be able to pay, but I'm not able to make payments through PayPal, to Spreaker, for example, which is what I use for my podcasting. But I really love Spreaker. I think they're great. So I'm using their free service right now, which only allows me 15 minutes of podcasting, where before I paid for like a broadcasting pro service, and I had like unlimited storage, and I could podcast for like 3 or 5 hours, something crazy like that. But see, that's another thing. That's another great thing too, is that the limitation has caused me to watch my time and get my ideas out within 15 minutes, or I just have to do another podcast, like a part 2. So the other thing, so I learned those things about the Youku video service out here in China, and also I have to start researching, and I already have. So I've had to start researching I've had to start paying more attention to LinkedIn. I mean, it's only been 4 days, but I move very quickly. So, and I'm impatient with getting things out there and figuring stuff out, because I've realized that if I don't act quickly and start doing things, I'm not going to learn anything. And even though some things, there are a lot of things that I've published that people would be embarrassed to put out. Like the podcast I did yesterday, um, it was like buzzing in the beginning of it. And, I don't always present the way that I want to, but I'm all about the content and what I'm saying and speaking the truth about what I feel and what's going on. So it didn't matter to me. What mattered to me is putting the content out there and letting people be the judge of it. Like I won't know what anybody thinks of the information if I don't put the information out there. And I'm not afraid to put stuff out there that people will criticize me about. Like I don't give a shit what people say about me, because in the end, the truth is going to win out. People will realize who I am and what I'm doing, and they already have for years. I mean, it's not like I just started this. I've been publishing online since like the mid 90s or even more. And I mean, I've got internet radio podcasts out there since like 2007 and before that. So, and videos. So, and stuff that's like just blah, like whatever. But that's, so overall, this is, what this is really about is how do you respond under pressure or with limitations? What are you going to do when you're limited? Are you going to throw your hands up and give up and not do anything at all? Or you figure out other ways to be creative and be productive, even though the channels that you're normally used to using to distribute or create with have been blocked, or like, so many things. Like another limitation I put on myself is I only use the internet out here in China when I am connected to Wi-Fi. So that means when I'm at home, or if I'm in a cafe working, or if I'm at an office space that I'm using. I don't have a data plan on my mobile device. I bought a really cheap mobile device that's the equivalent of like $30, and you can talk and text on it, and that's it. There's no data. And I can only use the internet when I'm connected to Wi-Fi. And so this interesting limitations that I'm even going to use whenever I return back to the United States. Like I find it fascinating that, I don't have to constantly, well, I can't really say that if I go back to the United States, because it might make it easier for me to just on the spot do a broadcast of some kind. So we'll see. But it's interesting to kind of live like that right now. And so what are you going to do? You have to ask yourself this question. What are you going to do when you find limitations? One of the limitations that I was getting to with that idea is that sometimes people freak out when their internet slows down just a little bit, or when they don't have any, or, they get crazy when, like if they didn't pay their mobile bill on time, and their service gets interrupted for a little while. So this is just, again, asking yourself the question, what are you going to do when limitations are imposed upon you? And I suggest that you find ways to be creative, and you'll surprise yourself at the things that you come up with when these limitations are imposed on you. So give that a shot, give that a thought, see what happens. And let me know. I want people to start commenting and talking to me and having a conversation with me here. I've seldom ever asked that before, but now I'm going to start asking. So comment, good or bad. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of things you think about what you do when you have limitations imposed upon you. What are you going to do? This is Rare Earth Metals. Of course, it's a song produced by me. Enjoy.